The ocean guards its secrets well, but when they surface, they can redefine everything. Imagine a city rising from the seabed, a potential game-changer for humanity, yet shrouded in silence. Today, we dive into this underwater marvel, alongside surprising stories of reef balls, sunken Nazi gold, and even whispers of beaches on Mars. Ready to explore the unexpected? Reef balls. What if your leftover seafood could help save the planet? It may sound far-fetched, but Eileen Maher, Director of Environmental Conservation at the Port of San Diego, is turning this idea into reality. She's transforming discarded oyster shells into reef balls, hollow dome-shaped structures made from cement, sand, and oyster shells that are helping to restore marine ecosystems and fight climate change. In San Diego's South Bay, Maher's team, nicknamed the Mars Team, has deployed 30 and 60 reef balls to combat rising sea levels and bolster marine habitats. Why oysters? These humble shellfish are environmental powerhouses. Each one can filter up to 50 gallons of water per day, purifying the ocean while creating critical habitats for marine life. They also help stabilize coastlines naturally, offering an eco-friendly alternative to traditional seawalls, which can be expensive and harmful to ecosystems. The movement doesn't stop at San Diego. In La Paz, Mexico, an ambitious version of this project is underway. With 1,500 reef balls being deployed across an area the size of 128 football fields, the goal is to foster marine biodiversity, boost the local economy, and spotlight the oyster's vital ecological role. Led by advocate Javier de Jesus Miguel, the project represents a bold step in coastal conservation. Back in San Diego, the pilot project will be closely monitored over 5 years. If successful, expect to see more of these curious concrete spheres along global coastlines. Innovative, sustainable defenses powered by nature and smart science. Lost Nazi gold. A potential fortune in Nazi gold may be lying at the bottom of the North Atlantic, but there's a catch. It's locked inside a chest aboard a sunken ship near Iceland. This isn't a movie plot. It's a real-life mystery involving the SS Minden, a German merchant vessel that set sail from Brazil on September 6, 1939, just as World War II erupted. Hidden among its cargo, 4 tons of gold, reportedly taken from South American banks. Fearing capture by the British Royal Navy, Adolf Hitler ordered the ship's crew to scuttle the vessel, sending it and its precious cargo to the ocean floor. For decades, the wreck remained lost to history. That changed in 2017 when a British salvage firm, Advanced Marine Services, discovered the remains of the Minden. Inside, they reportedly found what looks like a treasure chest tucked away in the post room. Naturally, the team hoped to retrieve the chest and bring it back to Britain. However, the wreck lies within Iceland's Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ, granting the country regulatory authority over activities in the area, even though it can't legally claim the gold. The salvagers applied for permission to access the site, but bureaucratic delays have stalled the operation for nearly a decade. As of now, the chest, and its potential $130 million haul, remains trapped beneath the waves, caught in a legal limbo. It's a modern-day treasure tale still waiting for its ending. Special thanks to Charlene Jones and Kiki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating discoveries and historical mysteries. Thanks for watching, and have a great day or night wherever you are. Martian beaches. Pack your sunscreen, extra strength, because scientists may have just discovered ancient beaches on Mars. Thanks to groundbreaking data from China's Zhurong rover, researchers have found compelling evidence that the red planet once hosted a vast ocean in its northern hemisphere. Imagine a time when gentle waves lapped at Martian shores under a sky very different from today's dry, dusty, and hostile atmosphere. The discovery came through ground-penetrating radar, revealing layered rock formations that bear a striking resemblance to those formed by tides and waves here on Earth. These structures suggest Mars once had coastlines shaped by moving water, a major leap in our understanding of the planet's past. Scientists have speculated for years that Mars once held liquid water, but this latest finding provides some of the strongest evidence yet that it wasn't just wet, it might have been habitable. Professor Michael Manger of UC Berkeley explains that the formations don't align with known features like sand dunes, lava flows, or craters. Instead, they point to a long-lost Martian ocean, possibly supporting life. The research, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, suggests Mars experienced warm and wet conditions for millions of years, ample time for life to potentially develop. Of course, we're still left wondering, what kind of life, if any, once called Mars home? Microscopic organisms, strange aquatic creatures, or something we've yet to imagine? Scientists are now working to uncover more clues about this ancient Martian paradise. So, would you take a vacation on the Red Planet? No swimming, no air, and plenty of radiation, but the views? Out of this world. Mars may no longer have its oceans, but it's certainly making waves in the world of science. Unearthing the Zambra. Move over Titanic. A much older seafaring marvel has resurfaced. Meet the Zambra, the oldest completely hand-sewn boat ever found in the Mediterranean. Discovered off the Adriatic coast near Croatia, this 3,200-year-old vessel is now on its way to France for conservation and detailed study. After millennia beneath the sea, even a boat deserves a bit of pampering. The story begins in 2008, when a local fisherman stumbled upon what he assumed was just driftwood. Instead, he had found a prehistoric treasure, the oldest known sewn boat in the Mediterranean, predating 64 similar discoveries. This relic dates back to the late 12th century BC, a transitional era between the Bronze and Iron Ages, basically the ancient equivalent of upgrading from a flip phone to a smartphone. Built entirely without nails or metal, the Zambra was stitched together with ropes made from Spanish broom fibers. Think of a shipbuilder meticulously sewing each plank like a grandma crafting a quilt. Despite its delicate-sounding construction, the boat was seaworthy, capable of carrying 9 rowers and handling the open sea. This ingenious vessel was crafted by the Histri, an ancient tribe known for using hand-sewn boats to ambush Roman grain ships. Imagine a Bronze Age Fast and Furious, with oars instead of engines. Recovering the boat was no small feat. Archaeologists removed it in 15 sections, each cleaned, analyzed and tagged before a long soak in a salt removal bath. It's the archaeological version of a detox spa. Now housed at the Arc Nuclear Research Lab in Grenoble, France, the Zambra is undergoing preservation. Once restored, it will return to Croatia for display, a tribute to ancient craftsmanship and maritime daring. So, would you dare ride in a hand-sewn pirate boat, or are you keeping that life jacket close? The Deep Project. A mysterious millionaire is quietly funding one of the most ambitious and bizarre projects of our time, the construction of a permanent underwater city. While most of us limit our creative building to games like The Sims, this anonymous backer is taking things to new depths, literally. Their project, called Deep, aims to make underwater living a real possibility, potentially reshaping the way humans inhabit the planet in the decades to come. With more than $100 million invested so far, the Deep project sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi novel or a Bond villain's playbook. But unlike secret bases or dystopian fantasies, the stated goal is scientific advancement. Deep claims its mission is to better understand the ocean and develop sustainable ways for humans to coexist with it. No underwater capitalism or submerged luxury enclaves, just exploration and innovation. Surprisingly, the project's test site isn't some high-tech marine facility, but a flooded quarry in the English countryside of Gloucestershire. Yes, a futuristic undersea habitat is being prototyped in a pond-like setting. The key technology behind this venture is a series of Sentinels, high-tech underwater modules designed to sustain human life as deep as 656 feet below the surface. The long-term vision is to deploy these modules into real ocean environments where scientists, and possibly a few adventurous elites, will live and work underwater. The team plans to have people inhabiting these oceanic pods by 2027, a surprisingly near deadline. The backer's identity remains a mystery, but their ambitions are as deep as the ocean itself. Initial deep-sea trials are expected within 2 years, which will help determine whether long-term underwater living is feasible or still the stuff of science fiction. The only question left, who's ready to trade land legs for fins? Terrifying water gods. Water, source of life, a place of beauty, and, for ancient civilizations, a mysterious force that demanded respect, fear, and sacrifice. For millennia, humans made offerings to the spirits they believed ruled rivers, lakes, and seas. Some left coins or flowers, others offered something far more chilling: children's skulls. Yes, in the Bronze Age, certain European communities believed that placing children's skulls around their homes could protect them from natural disasters, especially floods. Archaeologists from Basel University in Switzerland recently uncovered skulls carefully arranged in circular patterns around ancient lake settlements in Germany and Switzerland. These weren't random burials, they were deliberate spiritual defenses. Flooding was a constant threat in those days. With no dams, warning systems, or engineering to control nature, people turned to rituals. These skull circles, located at the edges of villages, were believed to serve as barriers to appease angry water deities. Many of the skulls showed signs of trauma, perhaps caused by axes, suggesting some children may have died violently. However, not all were sacrificed. Some may have died earlier, possibly in conflicts, and were later exhumed for ritual use. Dr. Benjamin Jennings suggests the positioning of these skulls on village perimeters underscores their role as supernatural protection. This kind of watery fear wasn't unique to Europe. The Greeks feared Poseidon's rage, offering sacrifices to avoid sea storms. In Japan, people appeased the mischievous water goblin Kappa with cucumbers bearing their names. The Celts honored Manannan mac Lir, a sea guardian, while mermaids and sirens were once seen as deadly temptresses, not gentle beauties. These myths and rituals reflect humanity's awe of water, its life-giving nature, and its power to destroy. In the face of such overwhelming force, perhaps a small offering, even a cucumber, was the only comfort people had. Secrets submerged. Beneath the cold, dark waters of Lake Huron lies something far older than the lake itself. A lost world from 9,000 years ago, when this basin was dry land teeming with life. Long before it filled with water, an ancient culture thrived here, hunting massive game like caribou and possibly even mastodons, carving their images into stone and trading with distant peoples. Now submerged 120 feet underwater, the site known as Drop 45 Drive Lane offers a rare glimpse into this prehistoric society. Located 35 miles southeast of Alpena, Michigan, the area was once a bustling hunting ground. Archaeologists have discovered a carefully arranged stone lane designed to guide caribou into traps, an ingenious technique still used by Arctic communities today. Also found is a mysterious rectangular structure, possibly a meat cache or a gathering place. Imagine preserving mammoth jerky before refrigeration. But the most astonishing discovery might be obsidian tools, crafted from volcanic glass sourced not locally, but from Oregon, over 2,500 miles away. This implies the existence of a vast ancient trade network that connected North America's early inhabitants long before the invention of the wheel. Dr. John O'Shea, leading the research, believes this is the first known hunting structure found submerged in the Great Lakes. And it's not alone. Divers in Lake Michigan's Grand Traverse Bay have uncovered a stone alignment over a mile long, including a rock carved with what appears to be a mastodon pierced by a spear. Local Ottawa and Chippewa tribes immediately recognized the symbolism, adding powerful cultural context to the find. These underwater discoveries are rewriting what we know about early human civilizations in North America. Could the Great Lakes hold even more secrets? Perhaps our own version of Atlantis? Only time will tell. Earth's unexpected deep structures. Just when scientists thought they understood Earth's inner workings, a surprising discovery has challenged everything. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the mantle, the fiery semi-liquid layer between the crust and core, researchers have identified vast, mysterious structures that defy expectations. These massive formations resemble ancient tectonic plates, yet they exist in areas where subduction, the process of one plate diving beneath another, isn't supposed to occur. What makes this so astonishing? No one has ever drilled deep enough to sample the mantle directly. Instead, scientists use seismic waves from earthquakes, which behave differently depending on the materials they travel through. By analyzing these wave patterns through a global network of sensors, researchers essentially create a 3D ultrasound of the planet's interior. Using an advanced seismic model, teams from ETH Zurich and Caltech uncovered immense plate-like slabs buried far below the ocean floor. These dense, unexpected structures may be remnants of Earth's original crust, possibly dating back over 4 billion years, making them among the oldest parts of the planet still in existence. However, not everyone agrees on their origin. Some speculate these anomalies could represent something even more mysterious, perhaps echoes of long-lost civilizations, entombed and preserved beneath shifting tectonic layers. An Atlantis beneath the mantle. It sounds far-fetched, but scientists admit they're still unraveling the mystery. One thing is certain: Earth continues to surprise us. This discovery is a stark reminder that despite all we've learned, we've barely begun to understand the hidden depths of our planet. The real sunken city of Pavlo Petri. While myths of Atlantis captivate the imagination, a real submerged city, far older than the pyramids, lies quietly beneath the waters off southern Greece. Pavlo Petri, resting under just 13 feet of seawater, may not have Atlantis's legend, but it is stunningly real and remarkably preserved. Estimated to be over 5,000 years old, Pavlo Petri predates both writing and the widespread use of the wheel. Discovered in the 1960s by Nicholas Fleming of the University of Southampton, this ancient settlement near the modern village of Pavlo Petri remained largely ignored until 2009. That year, the Pavlo Petri Underwater Archaeology Project, led by Dr. John C. Henderson of the University of Nottingham, began detailed exploration to safeguard the site from natural decay and careless human interference. Using sonar, underwater robots, and CGI modeling, researchers mapped an intricate city layout, complete with streets, multi-room houses, gardens, temples, tombs, and even a central square. Spanning more than 9 acres, it's the world's oldest known submerged city with a true street grid. The city likely belonged to the Minoans or Mycenaeans, civilizations that inspired much of Greek mythology. Around 1100 BCE, it was swallowed by the sea, likely due to a combination of tsunamis, earthquakes, and coastal changes. Pavlo Petri has since gained recognition. Featured in a 2011 BBC documentary and added to the World Monuments Watch list in 2016, it now appears on official Greek Navy charts. Today, snorkelers can float above its ruins, a perfectly preserved window into Bronze Age life beneath the waves. The underwater leviathan. Forget sea monsters. Pavona clavus, a massive coral colony off the Solomon Islands, is the largest known underwater organism. Spanning 112 feet across, 105 feet long, and 18 feet high, it surpasses all previously recorded corals by more than 30 feet. Estimated to be over 300 years old, it began growing during Napoleon's time. Discovered accidentally by researchers searching for a shipwreck, this colossal coral isn't a reef made of many colonies. It's one single organism made up of millions of tiny polyps. Marine videographer Manu Sanfelix called it awe-inspiring, and for good reason. It has survived centuries of climate change, pollution, and coral bleaching, conditions that have decimated reefs worldwide. Scientists are now studying its structure and resilience to unlock potential secrets that might help save other threatened coral ecosystems. Meanwhile, shallow reefs in the Solomon Islands continue to suffer. Local tribes are calling for protection of the waters around Malau Island, and the coral's importance was even raised at COP29. This ancient coral could hold the key to reef survival. The cookie-cutter shark. Also known as the cigar shark, the cookie-cutter shark is a small but formidable parasitic species found in warm oceanic waters globally, with a particular fondness for habitats near islands. Its peculiar name comes from its unique feeding method. Using its razor-sharp teeth, it gouges perfectly round chunks out of larger animals, leaving wounds that look as if a cookie cutter has been violently applied. These dark brown sharks typically grow to between 16 and 22 inches in length. A fascinating feature is the array of light-emitting organs called photophores that line their underside, producing a vibrant green glow. This shark boasts the most intense bioluminescence of any known shark species and remarkably continues to glow for up to 3 hours, even after being removed from the water. Scientists hypothesize that the strategic arrangement of these photophores in this deep-sea dweller serves to lure prey by mimicking the appearance of smaller fish, a deceptive tactic seemingly exclusive to the cookie-cutter shark. The eerie sunken cemetery of Kamiguin. Graveyards on dry land can be unsettling enough, but the thought of encountering one underwater evokes an even deeper sense of unease. Off the coast of Kamiguin, a Philippine island province, lies a submerged cemetery marking the final resting place of residents who perished or were tragically buried alive when the nearby Mount Vulcan erupted in the 1870s, causing a portion of the island to sink beneath the waves. Originally called Punta Pasil, or the Cape of Pasil, the site is now commonly known as the Sunken Cemetery, poignantly marked by a solitary cross rising from the Bohol Sea. The underwater graves and remnants of what was once the town of Katarman remained visible during low tide until 1948, when another eruption of Mount Vulcan plunged them an additional 20 feet below the surface. Now, the burials are permanently submerged, with crosses that once stood on dry land scattered across the seafloor. This somber site has transformed into an artificial coral reef teeming with marine life and has become a popular, albeit somewhat eerie, diving attraction. Elusive giants. Scientists recently captured the first ever video footage of big fin squid off the Australian coast. These deep-sea cephalopods are among the most elusive marine species, with only about a dozen confirmed sightings globally. Characterized by small bodies and remarkably long arms and tentacles, ranging from 13 to 26 feet, a study in PLOS One detailed how researchers analyzed hundreds of hours of footage from 2015 and 2017. Deploying cameras at depths between 3,100 and 3,780 feet, 10,700 feet, the team unexpectedly recorded what they believe are 5 different big fin squid. This is a significant discovery for scientists who previously had very little information about this enigmatic and otherworldly-looking creature, relying mainly on eyewitness accounts and deceased specimens caught as bycatch. These recordings allowed researchers to take precise measurements of the living animals for the first time, providing unprecedented material for study. Lake Lanier's dark legends and tragic toll. Lake Lanier in northern Georgia has long been shrouded in eerie legends and unsettling tales of paranormal activity. Among the most chilling is the story of a ghostly woman in a blue dress who is said to haunt the lake's murky waters, grabbing at unsuspecting swimmers and divers. Since 1994, over 200 people have drowned in this popular destination for boating and water sports, further fueling its ominous reputation. The lake was created in the 1950s by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to supply water and hydroelectric power. Local residents, many of whom had deep roots in the area, were offered compensation to relocate. Though initially resistant, they eventually gave in, watching their homes and lands vanish beneath the rising water. While marked graves were relocated, it's believed many unmarked burial sites were lost below the surface. Adding to the mystery, divers have reported bizarre experiences, encounters with giant catfish said to be the size of small cars, and strange sensations of limbs in the dark waters. Occasionally, relics and remains from the drowned towns re-emerge when water levels recede. With its tragic history, ghost stories, and unsettling underwater secrets, would you dare take a dip in Lake Lanier? Lake Neuchatel's surprising shark. Nestled at the base of the Jura Mountains, Lake Neuchatel is Switzerland's largest entirely internal lake. While undeniably beautiful, it harbors a rather creepy and unexpected resident, a giant shark with formidable jagged teeth. This eerily lifelike shark sculpture, while recently gaining viral attention, was actually created in 2007 for a short film titled Shack by the association Juno. Approximately 176 children and several professionals were involved in the movie's production. The shark served as a prop, humorously swallowing young actors before being placed in the lake to surprise unsuspecting passers-by. The association proudly showcases their low-budget creation, hoping to inspire youth engagement in community and cinema. This roughly 16-foot shark has since become a minor diving attraction, with tourism websites suggesting other intriguing discoveries await at the lake's bottom, including a terrifying dragon. The sunken crosses of La Palma. Off the coast of La Palma in Spain's Canary Islands, 40 colossal stone crosses stand silently 65 feet underwater. Known as the sunken crosses of Malp, They are not remnants of a submerged cemetery. Instead, they were placed there 20 years ago to commemorate the tragic deaths of 40 Franciscan monks, including the missionary Ignacio de Azevedo, who were brutally killed in a pirate attack in 1570. Despite the risks, they embarked on their mission and paid the ultimate price when French pirates, led by Jacques de Sores, boarded their ship and callously threw them overboard. The fact that this occurred near the island, and de Sores chose not to bring the 40 monks ashore after seizing their vessel, highlights the pirates' extreme cruelty. Pope Benedict XIV declared these men martyrs in 1742, and in 2000, the crosses were placed on the seabed in their honor. Now a poignant diving attraction, they serve as an eerie memorial to the 40 respectable religious lives needlessly lost over 4 centuries ago. Lake Norman's mysterious inhabitant. Normie, a mysterious creature widely known as North Carolina's Loch Ness Monster, is just one of the intriguing things found in Lake Norman, located about 20 miles outside Charlotte. This man-made lake, created in the 1960s for power and recreation, led to the displacement of several communities. While a few taller buildings were demolished for safety and some isolated graves and entire cemeteries were relocated, many structures were left intact beneath the water's surface. In addition to this underwater city, Lake Norman is also said to contain a submerged airplane, and of course, Normie, the fabled enormous monster lurking in its depths. Eyewitness accounts vary, with some describing Normie as having an alligator-like appearance, while more pragmatic theories suggest it might be a large sturgeon or an exceptionally overgrown catfish. Local news outlets have noted that fishers have indeed caught unusually large specimens in the lake, which offers ample hiding places for large fish due to its unique underwater topography. Whether a mythical beast or simply a massive marine creature, it might be wise to keep an eye out just in case. The ruthless sarcosoma. In early November, the Padre Island National Seashore Park Service shared an alarming image of a black and yellow, strange-looking creature known as a sarcosoma fish. While not particularly large, its bright markings suggest danger rather than beauty. As it turns out, the sarcosoma fish is a remarkably ruthless predator. Described by the Park Service as a ravenous ambush predator, it inhabits the seagrass beds of the Gulf of Mexico, where its coloration provides excellent camouflage. This fish can also change its color to further blend into its surroundings. Rather than actively pursuing prey, the sarcosoma fish lies in wait, using a specialized appendage protruding from its head to lure unsuspecting victims. Once a target is within range, it swiftly snatches the creature without warning. Sarcosoma fish are not picky eaters and are even known to prey on their own kind. One documented cannibalistic specimen was found with the remains of 16 juvenile members of its species inside its stomach. While these voracious hunters generally don't target humans, they can be harmful due to a toxin in their flesh called ciguatoxin, which can cause poisoning. Trapped for 3 days. In 2013, 3 days after a tugboat sank off the Nigerian coast, divers embarked on what they assumed would be a grim body recovery mission, until they made a shocking discovery. Trapped 100 feet underwater inside the sunken vessel, 29-year-old Harrison Ojegba Okene was found alive, surviving in a small air pocket. For 72 harrowing hours, he remained submerged in pitch darkness, clinging to life in freezing water as oxygen levels dwindled and carbon dioxide built up. When Okene spotted a diver's light, he attempted to swim toward it, but failed to get the diver's attention. With no choice, he returned to his precarious air pocket, growing weaker with every breath. Eventually, a diver passed nearby. In a last desperate move, Okene reached out and touched the diver, startling him as he initially mistook the hand for that of a corpse. Once rescued, Okene had to spend another 60 hours in a decompression chamber. Tragically, all other crew members perished. Some locals bizarrely accused Okene of using black magic to survive. Deeply traumatized, he later gave up his life at sea and took a job as a chef on land, still haunted by nightmares of his unimaginable ordeal. The woman of Chanhole 3. For anyone prone to claustrophobia, the idea of cave diving is nightmarish, tight, dark passageways with no easy exit. Yet, for some brave explorers, this fear becomes a profession, often leading to extraordinary and sometimes unsettling discoveries. In 2016, Cave divers Vicente Fito and Ivan Hernandez made one such discovery while exploring the Chanhole cave near Tulum, Mexico. They were searching for an ancient skeleton previously stolen from the site when they unexpectedly came across another, the partially preserved remains of a woman now known as Chanhole 3. Only about 30% of her skeleton was recovered, but it revealed remarkable details. Radiocarbon dating placed her remains at approximately 9,900 years old. She stood about 5 feet 4 inches and was around 30 years old at the time of her death. Her skull showed 3 distinct traumatic injuries, suggesting a violent encounter, though whether these led directly to her death remains uncertain. Researchers also found signs of a bacterial infection, possibly Trypanomatosis peritonitis, a relative of syphilis, which, if confirmed, would be the oldest evidence of such disease in the Americas. Anthropologist Wolfgang Stinnersbeck noted that her life appeared to have been difficult and her death tragic. The skull's shape and poor dental condition, linked to a sugar-rich diet, suggest she belonged to a distinct population separate from the hunter-gatherers known in the region. Her discovery, along with other ancient remains in the area, is helping reshape our understanding of early human migration and diversity in the Americas during the end of the last ice age.